I'm Broc,
I'm Trisha,
and this is Fast Lane Living.
because life doesn't slow down. All right,
Here we are,
episode 1.
episode 1, our first podcast.
Yes.
Fast Lane Living, here we are.
Yeah, fast lane living.
Thank you for tuning in. Anybody that's listening, we appreciate you. You know this.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for tuning in to our very first podcast. We're super excited to chat with you and each other. So we thought that for our very first podcast, it could be really fun to kind of interview each other in a way, as we're going to be interviewing a lot of people. That was something that we were excited to do for Fast Lane Living, and be able to bring in interesting people, can tell us about their expertise, their stories, things like that, and just kind of explore all those things.
See where it goes from there.
Yeah.
We know a lot of interesting people. There's a lot of interesting people we don't know. We're going to try to line up as many cool guests as we can and find out how they got to where they're at. What makes them tick? What do they do that sets them apart from the rest?
Yeah.
And
sure.
I think we're going to find some pretty interesting things there. So
Yeah.
Trish and I live a pretty interesting life together. We do a lot of things. We named it Fast Lane Living because we're kind of fast lane people, left lane drivers. I guess.
Yeah. And I guess, our first kind of question to each other, we thought would be nice for the podcast is, what does fast lane living mean to you? So, and we'd love to hear what it means to you guys as well in the comments. If you want to drop us a line and tell us what you think it means. And then, so do you want to answer first, Brock?
I can go first. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm kind of on
All
the
right.
spot
So
here, I guess.
Here we go. So, Brock, what does fast lane living mean to you?
To me, fast lane living is, I guess for me, I'm a fast mover, fast walker. I'm a doer, kind of a hustler. I'm always up to something. And it definitely makes me tick. I'm a busy guy, you know that.
Yeah.
Got the shop, we got Wallaway, we got the kids, we got dogs, a duck. The number of ducks always
Cat,
changes, but
right?
it is what it is. We've down to one right now. He's a cool guy, Franklin.
Right.
And but yeah, fast lane living
Franklin's a girl.
is he seems like a guy sometimes.
He does.
Franklin.
Except she lays eggs.
She has a guy name, so
Well, it's Franklin.
I call her Frankie.
It's Franklin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
cool
Anyway,
duck though.
sorry.
He's survived out of 5 other ducks. He's survived and he's pretty hardcore.
He is.
Kind of an OG.
He is our OG. Yeah.
So yeah, but just kind of not letting the grass grow under your feet and keeping my life moving along. You want to try a new sport, give it a try. You got a different activity you want to try, give it a try. Just live life, man. Life is precious, life is short, and I think we find out every day that life is short. People around us, people around the world, it's time to get out there and do the things you want to do. And so we're kind of out here to motivate people, let you all know that we're just normal people. We have a couple great kids. We work hard for everything we do. And so hopefully we can resonate with some of you guys and you'll say, hey, I'm just like them. I'm a normal person. I can do what they're doing too. So, that's fast lane living for me. How about you? What's fast lane living mean to you, Trisha?
Oh, fast lane living. So I think for me, it's not so much like the speed of things, but it's more, kind of, it's a riskier place to drive, right? So like if you're driving in the fast lane, you got to be paying attention and, you got to be okay with maybe taking some risks. And if you do, and it works out, you're probably going to have a really good time. Right? So
That's a good way to put it.
Right. And so that's for me, it's really about like kind of that deal of being able to take some risks, calculated, obviously, and kind of more looking at things, like you said, like trying the new things and not letting things necessarily scare you out of that fast lane or out of that way of living or driving, and being able to just kind of get where you want to go, right? And I always look at people who drive in the left lane, they know where they're going, right? Like they're determined, they're ready to go, and they know where they're going, and they're going there. And they're just kind of like leaving everybody else behind, and not necessarily behind, but just getting where they're going. And so for me, that's, I think, what fast lane living is all about, is figuring out how to get where you're going and hopefully having a really good time along the way.
Nice. I like it.
Thanks.
During our show, we can refer to like left laners as people like us.
Right.
When there's
There you
people,
go, right.
When there's people that are just in the way, we'll call them right lane drivers.
Well, no, they're fine if they're in the right lane. We'll just call them campers,
There you
because it's
go.
the people,
There you
I don't
go.
mind if you want to drive any speed you want.
Yep, do your
in-
thing.
in
There's
the
nothing
right
wrong
lane,
with
right.
that. I don't want to put it out there like
Yeah.
we're some tyrant that needs
Well,
to
no, I'm just saying
speed out
stay
of
in the
your way.
right lane.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just stay in your lane,
Know your place. And,
right? And do your thing. But yeah, if you get in that left lane, you're clogging up traffic.
Yep.
I usually think I'm a really nice person. I try to be a nice
Until
person.
what happens, Trisha?
Until somebody goes slow in the left lane. It's probably maybe we might have to talk about that later.
It could
with
be a
some of
whole
our
episode.
cards, right?
Yeah.
It could be.
Well, speaking of cars,
Right.
we both have a background in working on cars.
Yeah.
I've probably been doing it a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, Trish definitely has a background in cars as well. She has herself a pretty awesome little racing Mini Cooper that she drives a little bit on the streets, drives a little bit on the track, does a little road racing with it, has a good time with it.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
It's a very good time.
She's also worked on cars before. She's spent a few years working in the shop with me.
Yeah. What was it? I think it was 5 or 6 years wrenching.
Yeah.
Yeah. I learned all kinds of stuff, and that was a cool experience, right?
Yeah.
Definitely was different. Just people don't necessarily expect to walk in the garage and see me, elbows deep in an engine bay, changing an engine, or, doing whatever I'm doing, like whatever. I was, by that 5 or 6 years, there wasn't many jobs that I couldn't do,
Right.
So, yeah, it was really neat. I definitely miss the wrenching sometimes. It's nice when we can wrench on our own cars, or, whether it's the S10 or the Mini,
Yeah.
our fun cars that we get to take out, which I'm sure you guys you'll hear lots about throughout time. And I'm sure we'll have an episode just talking about going to the track and some of our track friends. Bring
Yeah,
them
we'll
up
definitely
and-
have some episodes
For
about
sure.
the track.
Yeah.
We've got some friends we want to bring on to help
Yeah.
encourage and get other people to go up to the track. We can show you an easy way on how to do that. But yeah, we've got all kinds of
Yeah,
fun car stuff to do and talk about.
for
so,
sure. For sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure you
ways
guys
we can
just
include other
keep-
people too. I think that's the best, right? Because if you can just go and do this yourself, it's it's great, it's fun.
Right.
But we've been up there a handful of times now, luckily, and now it's definitely a real joy to bring other people and
It really is. Yeah.
see their experience when they go out. Like BIR is the one that we
Right.
like to go to, and to bring a friend out there. Like we brought my cousin the one day, and he went through the whole course and did the track day and just had an absolute blast. I think it rained a little bit that day.
Oh my gosh, that was one of the funnest track days.
It was actually a really good time.
Just poured rain, and it was so funny. But yeah, I think, right, because now, being able to have fun with your friends too, and bring your friends along, that's huge. That's
Yep.
a really good time. So I'm sure we'll talk about that quite a bit for
Yep.
sure.
Yep, and if anybody does end up coming up for these events that we're going to talk about, we'd be happy to help out with anything from helping get the car ready to tips on the track, or even riding with on the track, help sort some things out. So
Yeah, reach out, if you want more information on how to find track days to be able to go safely, onto a track in even if you're not local to like the Midwest, there's different resources all over the country to be able to get you onto a track. So reach out to us, drop a line in the comments or something, and we'll definitely do what we can to get some resources out there. But definitely listen to those episodes too, because we'll talk a lot about those kind of things as well. When we're talking about bringing out the cars, it's getting into that season. So
yeah, it's getting close to that time.
It is.
This
I got to do a little TLC on mine before.
Yeah,
But we'll see.
And the street sweeper just went by today, so you're gonna have to hurry.
Ooh, street sweeper.
Yeah, he was like giving this waving sign.
Ha,
like,
that's like,
hey,
all right,
get your car out.
it's time to go for sure.
Yep. We both
right.
got a little maintenance to do on our stuff, but they'll be up and rocking.
Yeah.
No big deal. It's kind of like every year. They always need a little bit of something, so.
Yeah, for sure. So we've got all these cards that we wrote down all these random questions on. And so we were thinking we would just kind of draw cards and ask each other some random questions for this episode so that you guys can get to know us a little bit. And hopefully it's a little entertaining. I'm sure it'll be a laugh or two in here. And then, well, there. So
kind of on the spot with these ones.
right. It was just kind of all randomized, and full disclosure, we wrote them, so we do kind of know what's up.
We have no idea.
I have no idea what.
Shout out to anybody listening right now. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, hey,
thanks for
hanging
following
in
along with us.
We're excited.
Yep.
All right, you pick first.
All right. Let's see what we got here. So, what has been the funniest or most unexpected moment you've had in business?
Oh my gosh.
You're gonna take this one?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
take that one because it's a pretty good one. So
go for it.
For any of you out there that are listening that don't know, I've been doing real estate since about 2014, and kind of had a slow start in real estate. And this was it must have been 2015, maybe 2016. But it was one of the first houses that I sold. So I was a buyer's agent and I worked on a team, and I had been working with this fantastically lovely couple. Just the sweetest couple. You know the story, right? It's just the sweetest couple, super nice couple. We've been looking at a bunch of houses, and they found this adorable house they loved. And it was, down in the cities, and I think it was like built in like 1922 or something. It was definitely in a beautiful original woodwork. They're very excited. Went through the whole process of getting the offer accepted and everything. And the only thing that they negotiated as part of the contract, to get fixed or anything in the house was there was this whirlpool tub up on the very top level of this, old style kind of 1.5 story top level. So they had a whirlpool tub that wasn't working. They wanted it fixed before closing. So yep, all agreed. Fantastic. That's great. We move right along. It's now the day before closing. So we're going to do our final walkthrough inspection. It's about 7 p.m. and our closing is set for 8 a.m. in the morning. And so we're just walking through, making sure everything looks good. Everything is supposed to be good. And we're upstairs and we're filling up the tub to test it. And we're standing there and we're talking, and all of a sudden I'm like, my feet are wet. Why are my feet wet? And so we're like, oh my gosh, the tub is leaking. Stop the tub. So we turn it off, and it's plugged, but we realize the water's still coming out from somewhere underneath it. And it's all original wood floors on the main floor. And all of a sudden I hear what sounds like a waterfall happening in the wood floors on the main floor. So I run down the stairs, and there is water coming out of the chandelier in the dining room.
Water doesn't normally come out of chandeliers. For anyone doesn't know chandeliers.
So mind you, this is like, I don't know, like number 3 closing ever for me or something, So this is like, I have no idea what to do. I'm in a complete panic state at this point. So there's nothing in the house. It's been moved out of. It's cleared out. There's nothing. And there's water, and we can't stop it from draining from under the tub. So it's just going to keep draining until it runs out. And now it's coming out of the chandelier in a rather rapid fashion. And so I just start ripping the curtains off of the windows because that is all that is there.
You got to soak it up. And the house is empty, right?
Empty.
Because they're moved.
They were supposed to move in the next morning, right? So it is empty. The only thing in the house is curtains on the window. It's the only any kind of absorbing fabric that there is. So it was, needless to say, we, after they did not end up purchasing that home, it actually turned out wonderfully for them in the end, which is usually how it works out. And 2 weeks later, we were able to close on a home that they loved much more and much better, and did not have water coming out of the chandelier the day before closing.
It was a waterless chandelier?
It was a waterless chandelier.
Man, I like those.
So moral of the story is, if you say you're going to fix it
well, and
before
they said
somebody
they fixed
tests it.
They had mentioned,
yeah.
you guys were messaging back and forth, and it was like, yeah, this thing's
right.
being
fixed
right now.
It was contractually agreed upon that it was going to be fixed and everything was going to be good, So, so that was probably the most unexpected, craziest experience I've had. One of them. There's a lot in real estate, but that's one of my most memorable because, we joke that, my clients afterwards told me that they came down the stairs, right? Everybody's in tears. So I run down to see where the water's coming. They were upstairs still. And then as they're coming down the stairs, they say they just kind of were going slow, and they turn around and they see me in the middle of the dining room, and I'm standing there with curtains trying to rip them down, and I am going F F F in the middle of the
You're gonna
dining
see
room.
how I act under stress.
So they got to see that, because of course I turned around and I'm like, okay, this is what we're gonna do now. All right, so the next step is right. But I had my
Was it run?
meltdown moment. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. I just really wanted to run and hide. But all
that's a
worked out.
rough day at work.
All
I remember
worked out.
that because I think you were driving over an hour to get wherever that was.
Yeah,
So it was kind of some panicking and some having to hurry up and go places. And I
Yeah,
remember that was a tough deal.
that was a fun one
Yeah.
for sure. Are you ready for yours?
Well, let's see. It might be for either of us. What you got?
I think you should be good on
What
it. I mean, we could both answer this one maybe. So, all right. If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
I already know I'd pick my dad.
Yeah.
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 That's a longer answer to that would be is, my dad passed away in 2012. And so that would be, if I could have, another dinner with him, I would love to.
Sure.
But besides that, I don't really have any famous people that I'm trying to.
What about
Oh, you know what? Cletus McFarlane for sure.
That'd be pretty
that guy
fun.
seems pretty awesome, dude, and he looks like a blend of me and my cousin Damon.
He totally does. And he does all this stuff. Like I sent you the Hard Park, the Spark.
Hard Park, the Spark.
That
dude.
looks so fun.
No, he
So
does all
fun.
the stuff that I feel like I was destined to do on
Yeah.
a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. If you guys don't know who Cletus McFarlane is, check it out. Check
Freedom
out.
Factory.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who Cletus is.
But if you're not car people, you might not know.
I think
But even if you
everybody
aren't, like you should check it out. But Hard Park the Spark is that was awesome.
Yeah, they took a Chevy Spark, and they have a certain little parking spot kind of coned off, and you had to come in around this corner, I think at 60 miles an hour,
Yep,
and then hit
60.
the e-brake and try to get her to spin around backward right into the spot.
Right into the cones.
Whoever could do it
great.
the best. And it
Who
seemed
did they
like-
have there?
I don't remember. It was a
Was
famous driver.
driver.
I don't remember who it
it
was, but man, it seemed like a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. And then he even bought a whole motor speedway,
Yeah.
so he could do big burnouts. And then
could do his
COVID
stuff.
shut him down like right away, and it was a whole deal. Then he prospered through it, and
Oh yeah, he's
Now
got
he's-
plenty going on.
now he's Bald Eagle Cletus McFarlane.
Yeah, yeah,
Driving NASCARs.
Oh right, it's
Oh
great.
yeah, doing
Great.
they did a race with all Nissan Altimas around, I think it was an oval. I mean, you know how pissed off Nissan Altimas are. You've seen them in traffic. Everybody
Right.
has. And to do a full race with all of those
All
cars,
Altimas.
woo, if you get a
Pretty
V6
good.
model, you're going to be out front.
Yeah, you're gonna be right.
But
You're
no
like-
matter what one I have, I'm going to hit you.
Right. I'm like, that's the thing. It just turns into a derby, I'm sure, which isn't a problem.
So, Cletus, if you're listening to this, and I'm sure you
Yes.
are at this point, but
Yes.
can we
Thanks
ask
for being a
that you
follower.
do the same thing? And if you want to involve me, fine. I would love to be, but we need to do the same thing with Grand Caravans.
Ooh.
Or we could extend this out to minivans in general.
We need a minivan race.
You could have Astro. You could have a Honda Odyssey, which is a pretty
Ooh.
powerful minivan. We probably won't let any like V8 swapped minivans in.
No,
That
'cause
seems a little too much.
Yeah, that ruins I feel like it ruins the
But
ambiance.
man, a minivan race, and maybe like you got to punch out all the windows for this because you can't have glass flying everywhere. But then what you do is you strap a bunch of fake kids and fake babies all in the back seats.
And you got to keep them all in.
Oh, so you don't strap them.
You don't strap
And
them. You
then-
just throw a bunch of dolls in there and like no windows, and you have to keep them in the van. Don't lose the babies.
If you end up doing this, could we please be a part of this?
We'll help you set it up.
Yeah.
We got a couple circle tracks around here that would probably let us do something like that.
Cletus owns a damn circle track. Why would he go anywhere else?
Well, I guess I didn't realize he owned a circle track.
Like he's like, hey, I'm in a nice.
I don't know what he all owns. I just watch his videos. I'm not up. I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry,
don't know
Cletus.
either.
He knows more about you than
and I don't even know enough, but I am a fan.
I'm probably have to get up on my
It's
Cletus.
okay. He just has a good time.
Yeah.
You
No,
seen those bald eagles flying around here lately? Those are his. Every one of them. We're just
Oh,
lucky.
gosh.
We're just lucky to be able to see them.
Oh, we digress. But welcome to our life, guys. This is what it is right here, right? Are we doing a new question?
Yep.
All right. What is it?
What is the best compliment you have ever received?
You want to know what? This is kind of a funny one because I think the best compliment I've ever received was somebody told me that I reminded them of an eagle.
A bald eagle?
Calm down, Cletus.
Cletus, are you listening still?
No, I'm here. How does this happen? So no, but it was for real. Like, and I was like, oh, okay. And I wasn't sure whether or not to like take that. I didn't know what that meant initially. And then he explained to me that because he felt that I was somebody who wasn't afraid to fly alone and like soar on my own and stand up for what I believe in and be true to myself and true to the people around me. And that didn't scare me to be the only one to do that in my, around. And so
I can agree with all that.
yeah, so I think that was definitely probably like one of the best. And that was actually like a boss I had in a job,
Okay.
quite a while ago. Before we were together, before I
So
kids.
it's not the same guy that told your mom she's like a billy goat? I was thinking along those lines.
No, that's a different animal reference.
Different altogether.
Different altogether.
Nice.
Yeah. But
Hey,
yeah,
that's a
so
good
I
one.
think that was probably like the most impactful, I guess, compliment that I've got that really like I felt like it was something like they really put thought into that.
Did you have to
Yeah.
like say, can you explain what you mean by that? Or
Well, I think he saw my face when he said it that I kind of was like, thank you. Like, I felt like that's a good thing, right? But I didn't know what he meant by it. Like, I'll like rip
like
people's kitties
because you've
apart.
seen
Like,
what I do with bunnies? No?
I was like, I'm not sure how to take this. So, but then, yeah. So I think he just saw the look on my face of like, thank you. And he's like, this is why, because you're not afraid to soar alone.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's something I've always remembered. It's been a lot of years.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How about you? Do you know what's the best compliment you've ever received?
Man,
What do you
it probably comes into line with like our Wallaway invention
Yeah.
because we've had countless people tell us that we're genius. Oh, this is genius. I'm so happy to say I've met you before you became famous, like all this stuff. And it's
Right.
like, you don't feel that way, but it's like, what? Like, okay. But it's like, it just validates the idea and that what we were doing there and what we are doing there is real and it has a place.
Right.
And I've never heard that about, bending exhaust for a car or fixing your water
Yeah.
pump or putting a wheel bearing or brakes.
Right.
And it's
Right.
like, no one's ever told me I'm genius for that. They're just like, how much is it?
Right.
But
Really,
so, coming up with
Yeah.
a much needed item for the world and then having
Yeah.
people also respond, the actual people that would be using it, right, are
Right.
going to respond and be like, this is genius.
Yeah.
So I really liked hearing that. And then the more we heard it, it definitely validated that. But that would probably be just off my head right now. That would probably
Right.
be one of my favorite things. So,
Like your best compliments you could think of there.
yep.
Yeah, that's been a huge deal, right?
And my hair, I probably get compliments on my hair
I
like
keep
every day.
getting,
Just kidding.
all right, I'm gonna do this one because I like this one better. So I kind of cheated a little, but nobody's watching.
Cletus McFarland's watching, dude. Don't be doing that.
My mom might be. All right. So, what's the secret to working with your spouse?
The secret to
I'd like
working
to
with my
hear
spouse.
What your secret is to working with me?
Okay, so you see these headphones, right? These aren't actually headphones. These are earplugs. So right now when I look over, it's just,
Nice try.
and so I try to keep
Nice
up. I'm trying to
try.
keep in the context. Secret to working together. And I don't know. I think that we understand each other probably better than anybody. And I will not say that it's always easy.
Right.
It's not just like, oh, this is always perfect. It's always easy. It's always just streamlined. It's not. But, would you rather each of us are out working hard for somebody else's dream somewhere else, because everything that we're doing when we're working together is working on our own dream.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it doesn't really fulfill me, and I don't really think it fulfills you now, that like working for somebody else,
Right.
completely just trying to build their dream. You know, you get X amount of dollars per hour, X amount of dollars per car you fix. You know, when you start the week on Monday, you're not guaranteed anything, right? You have to earn every bit that you get till the week is over, and that's how life still is.
Right.
You know, neither of us are guaranteed any pay whatsoever. It's pretty much a pure commission structure in our lives, and that's how it's been for a long time.
Yeah, very long time now.
I like commission.
Yeah.
I think commission brings out the best in you, and you know,
Right.
it really does.
Well, and I think there was, you know, I remember when I very first, you know, when I was working at the bank, when you left the shop to open the shop at home here, to open our own shop here.
Yep.
And so I remember, you know, you opened the shop and I was, 6 months later, probably, it was time to make a decision. And you were like, well, here's the deal. I can either hire somebody else or you can leave your job and just come here and work here full time. And instead of us paying a different family and then you getting paid from a whole different entity, like
And
we'll
being
just
gone
pay
all
our
day.
own, and being gone, we'll just pay our own family. And that's really how it started for us. It wasn't like, hey, I think that was the thing, right? It wasn't like, hey, how do we work together? Like we weren't necessarily trying to figure out how to work together, but it came down to like, this makes more sense, you know, versus like we're working together for our family. We're paying our family with our
Right.
labors
Right.
versus somebody else's family with their labors. And that's how we ended up both working together, because it just made more sense to pay each other, you know, to pay
Yep.
ourselves. And then, you know, I don't know, secret to working together. I don't know if there really is a secret, because it changes all the time. I think that's the big thing. Maybe that's the secret, right? Like you have to be willing
There is no secret.
right. Like you have to be willing to be wrong, be right, be mad, be sad.
Right, and then walk
Be
into the
happy.
house and still sit at the same dinner table with the same person. You know, it's like,
Right.
imagine the people at work when you just need to get away from them, right? And then you walk
Right.
into the next room, and then there they are again.
Right. Yeah. So,
you
but
know.
right. And like we take our time. If we need to take time away, we'll take time away. But it just comes down to, I think, you know, I think we're pretty good at understanding like business decisions are business decisions as well. Like as far as, you know, I think both of us are pretty good at separating that part of like our relationship from like what we do for business and like who we are as husband and wife versus like the decisions we make for our businesses. We're pretty good
Right.
at keeping those, I feel like,
Right.
in their lanes of appropriateness. You know, do we talk about work too much? I'm sure we do.
I'm sure.
I'm sure, you know, I'm sure somebody would come in and if you had a mic on us, you know, if we got mic'd up for a day, they'd probably go, oh my goodness, you guys talk about work a lot.
Well, I think what that is you have to be a walking billboard for yourself, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't think anybody out there wakes up in the morning and they're thinking, "Whoa, how can I help Broc and Trisha to be successful? What can I do to help them?"
Yeah.
Right? We're all waking up in the morning thinking about how
What do I
can
gotta
we
do?
succeed today?
Yeah.
How can we pay our electric bill?
Right.
Right? Which bill can I get by this month without paying? Right? We're all there.
Right.
And
you know,
and these things are realities of life.
right.
And so
Yeah, I think that's, yeah. So there's no real secret to working with your spouse, right? Like, I think that it's just like working with anybody else. But just being able to, I think for us, like, we also know we're on the same team, right? Like, we're on the same team. And I think we established that a long time ago when we started working together in 2011.
I don't remember exactly what it was. Well, it must have been because
Yeah.
I started working at home in 2011,
Yep.
and so it was.
And it was
later on
6
that
months
year,
later
yeah.
that it wasn't even a year later that I came.
What a beautiful
full
deal! I
time.
remember the day
Yeah.
that I got to roll my toolbox off the tow truck into my own shop.
Yeah.
The toolbox hadn't seen my shop yet, so I got to introduce
It's
it.
always at the other shop. Yeah.
You know, I always think about inside the shop is just like that movie where at night all the things come alive, and then they're all interacting into them.
What's
Night
that
the theater,
movie?
the night at the theater,
the
night at the museum.
Yeah.
I think that's what happens in my shop. So all the tools
Yes,
are like at
they're
night.
like
They're
dancing.
all
That's where your 10 millimeter goes.
no, they're never missing. I'm telling you, that's only
You
for
keep good track
that's
of
only
that.
for new people because they're never missing.
Newbies.
They're no.
That's funny.
I've got track of all my 10 mil. But the tools. At night, I go in and they kind of have a little dance party, get to know each other, do the thing, try to get themselves somewhat back in the right spot before the morning. And so when you bring new ones, you can't just put them into use right away. I don't know if you know this. You actually have to set them out at night. The other ones can come around. They got little rituals that they do. But
right, like
I do actually do that. I don't.
You got to give them a little breathing room.
Yep. The guy I had working
Like
for me
it.
before would attest for you. I actually do that. I'll set them out, and sometimes I'll give it a month or more before I use one. It's just like you don't know if it's been
Right,
the rituals have been done. So
Okay.
fast lane living,
That's right.
where we have all of our 10 millimeters accounted for.
People said they wanted to know. Right now you're getting a glimpse. All right, should we pick another question?
Yeah, you want me to pick?
Sure.
All right. What is a parenting fail you can laugh about now?
A parenting fail I can laugh about now. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's kind of, yeah.
Get it?
So our kid, our
Yes.
boy, I don't know. I shouldn't say that one because it might embarrass him. That's not really a parenting fail. We just failed to teach our son when he was potty training that you only pee outside. And so
Yeah. So we had the neighbor. We just moved into our house here. We just moved in. And the neighbor was running around giving out these little deals for a Tuesday night to unite get together. Hadn't met any of these people
Nobody.
yet.
We're so new to the neighborhood.
And here we're standing there talking to this neighbor. And she looks over and she's like, "Oh, does he always poo in the yard?"
In his defense, he wasn't there yet, but he was on his way. Trows were down.
You know, like when when a dog looks like they're gonna,
Right.
you
And
can
you're
tell.
like, and he was like, "What?" Huh? And I'm like,
"Get in the house now!"
don't do that.
What are you doing?
So I don't know if that was necessarily a parenting fail moment or like an embarrassing parenting moment with the neighbor, like the brand new neighbor, like the neighborhood captain.
You know what?
Oh gosh, it was.
There's probably things we don't even know
funny.
about. Well, so a good one that I have is the one day our son again had gotten off the bus, and I remember it had snowed a bunch that day, and the bus stop was right in front of the house, so usually he'd come into the shop just within no time of getting off the bus, and so all of a sudden I'm like, wow, it's been way longer than usual. I wonder what he's doing, right? And so I go out there and look, and I can hear him down by the house.
Yeah.
And he knew we were busy, and he wanted to do Mom and I a favor and clear the car off. But he happened to use this like 3-foot wide metal shovel. And so here's the hood of our Bonneville SSEI. Cool black car. Just the greatest car, right?
Yeah, it was a nice car.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was a 2001 model. That thing was sweet. And he took this shovel and scraped it back and forth on the hood.
A lot of times.
And so we didn't really know. He was like, "Oh, I helped you clear off the car." Right?
Yeah.
That's what it was. "Hey, I helped you clear off the car." "Oh, okay, cool." Well, a little bit later, I go down there and I look and I see the car
and the shovel
looking disheveled.
Yeah.
And
like not like it wasn't done with a brush.
And I
or
see the shovel laying there, like in like the worst spot ever. I was like, I would never leave a shovel there.
Right.
Who would leave a shovel there? Like a 8-year-old?
No, like a 5-year-old, probably. He was pretty young.
He was pretty
like,
young.
Yeah, and he was trying so hard to help. And
Oh, we couldn't even be mad at him.
No.
He was trying so hard to help, and you know what? The little guy, he felt real bad. But
Yeah, we just
Man,
had
that
to
was-
explain to him that metal shovels are not the tool to use for that.
right, we use rakes.
We use, well, and so someone in his defense, like, I don't know if other people do this, but we'll use like
We have
do you call it?
we have a specific
floor
soft
broom.
bristled broom.
yeah, like it's like a
Right.
big size broom that will like dust off cars with. So he's seen us, sees doing that with like this full size broom, and it's just like, oh, here's the shovel, and just
I'll help out.
I'll help out. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good one, huh?
We still got him.
We kept him. He's
Cool
awesome.
kid. Cool
Yep.
kid.
He can stay around for a while. We like him.
Yeah, I'm sure we have a few more, but
Yeah.
our brains don't let us remember them because we think we do everything right.
Oh, I'm sure. Right. We could probably have a whole episode on that. Oh, here's a good one. All right. So, what is a hobby or activity you've always wanted to try but never have?
I'll have to think on that one for a second. I can answer that.
Okay.
A hobby or activity that I haven't tried that I've always wanted to try is a unicycle.
You've never done a unicycle?
No.
Oh,
Sometimes
you
I
could
see people have them just like braced up against the wall, kind of like,
Yeah.
and it's like, hey,
Dude,
dude.
can I try it?
dude, are any of your limbs broke right now? Like, what are you up to? And I'm like, don't talk to me like that, unicycle. Don't you talk
It's
to
the
me like that, unicycle. But no,
I bet you could. I think you could totally kill it on unicycle.
I think I could.
Yeah, I think. You
And
would.
also last summer
Pretty
at
cool.
softball, I taught myself to juggle. And so then I
Yes.
think on day 2, I would try to combine
the unicycle.
the unicycle with my
juggling.
poor juggling skills, my novice level juggling skills.
Yeah, I've seen them. They're novice, but they're better than mine because I don't know how to juggle. So
You could do it.
props to you. I don't even know. I don't know if I'd trust me on a unicycle either. I'm not sure I would or not.
If you had to unicycle or juggle, which one would you do?
Unicycle. I think I'd try that over. I think I'd pick up on unicycling faster than I'd pick up on juggling.
So would you just let go of the juggling balls and then pick up the unicycle in the same room and potentially run over?
No, there would be
the
no.
same- it would
There would
be
be
the
no
cleared
juggling
area.
balls
It would be-
involved.
Okay.
There's
Just trying to set the scene
all-
for these folks, right?
Yeah, no juggling balls in the room. We're not in a room.
There will be no juggling balls.
Don't you dare. What do we got?
Nice! She did it. She did it.
Don't even.
Oh,
Moving
good.
on. You're gonna start.
I want to ask
Good thing
you
I do the
something.
editing. Well, yeah. Okay, you asked me.
Trisha, I mentioned you have this sweet little Mini Cooper
Yeah. What
that's
do you-
all built up for the road track. Can you tell us a little bit more about your Mini Cooper?
She's 2010 Clubman, which is my favorite versus the 2 or the 4. I like the little 3-door one. It's it's got the turbo engine and got a bigger turbo, and we've done a bunch to it.
Trisha's
I'm a little
modified it
modest.
a little
I've
bit.
modified it a little
She's
bit.
not saying much.
I'm not. I don't talk about my car much because not that I don't know about it, but I don't feel like
Should we go back? I'll talk about your car and you talk about mine.
Yeah, that makes me easier. It's harder. Well, so and here's the deal, right? Like I have a ton of fun in my car. I love my car, but we're talking 280 to 300 horsepower. Now, granted, it's a little tiny car, and it's a blast. But I'm sitting next to somebody who's putting down like 800.
It doesn't matter.
In a vehicle that weighs the same as my car. So
They are similar.
I think my car's 100 pounds more than yours truck.
Yeah.
So it's not that I don't think my car's cool, but it's kind of hard to be like, yeah, when
Her
right.
car is cool.
It is
so
cool.
here's
I have a lot of
here's
fun.
when I found out her car was cool. And so let me tell you about her car real quick. So 2010 Mini Cooper, 6-speed manual, right? This thing's got really wide tires on it, about as wide as you can put onto this thing without cutting this car up. It's It's got coilover suspension, all kinds of fancy connecting things here and there.
And
Custom exhaust by B-Rocks.
It does have some sweet
upgraded
sweet custom
turbo,
exhaust.
all kinds of stuff on the engine,
Tune
hoses and tune and this and that. Things make all kinds of power. But what I found the best time ever in this car was that day we were just talking about a little bit ago at Brainerd on the road track. So when you sign up and you're there whether it's rain or shine. And so this happened to be a day where we signed up and it rained, and it was like 100% rain.
Yeah.
Today is going to be rainy. And so we were there. I was trying to drive my truck on the road track in the rain and do a little something, but that thing wanted nothing but to just spin around on me. I was sideways so many times at 75 and 35 and 45 and any 5 I was sideways. And after a little while I just thought, this isn't worth blowing this thing up, sliding off the track, messing around.
Yeah.
Let's just be done with this. It wasn't very fun, honestly. When I talk about speeds like 75 and you're on the road track, it's like you're crawling. You're just it's like you're not even it's just no fun. Right. So we're here on this rainy day, and Trisha's car is doing wonderful. She's out driving it, doing good, having a good time.
It did great in the rain.
Just wonderful. And then all of a sudden there was a little period where I already knew I wasn't driving my truck anymore. And then she was like, hey, do you want to take my car out there for a little while? And it had stopped raining, so it wasn't actually like coming down, but the track was full of puddles. It was wet. It could have been raining at any time in between there. It might have drizzled a little bit while I was driving. I don't know. But with it like semi-wet, and I went out there in that car and had the time of my life. And I've heard other people that we drive with mention things about certain other little miniature cars like that, like a Volkswagen Golf and some other little things, and they're out there on tracks in rain days, and they actually said that this was the funnest time they've ever had. And no shit, I was out there and just like ripping through the gears, ripping through the corners, doing whatever, and it was like it was dry out, and when it wasn't handling it, it would slide a little bit and do whatever, and it was so fun. So fun.
Yes, it is. It is a blast. It's a fun the corners, it's like being on rails. I mean, when I do the track attack and I'm, I think the most I've hit on there, and who knows how the accuracy is 1.6 G's in a corner. On corner, pretty sure it's corner 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming into or out actually of corner 6.
Yeah, 1.6 G's. That car grabs and holds pretty hard, and some of these corners really will test that.
Yeah, they'll test you hard. So going around the corners is so fun, and that's what I think we love to do, and that's what I built the car for, is doing cornering racing or cornering driving. That's a ton of fun. So because when your truck, right? So tell you a little bit about his truck. He's got himself a 1984 or 82, depending on which.
No, it's an 84/92.
Oh, I'm sorry, 84/92.
It's okay, don't be sad.
Right, it's been through a few stages, so.
Just remember, you're an 84, and
I'm an 84. It's a 4. That's why
we just call it 84.
That's why I call it 84 at first, because it's the 84 S10. So he's got an 84 S10. That has been with us for some time, 20 plus years.
I've had it for 22 years.
Yeah. But it's been a blue truck, and it's been a black truck, and now it's an orange truck. And it's had a 350, and it's had a 6.0, and it's had a 6.2, and now it has another, it's not really 6.2 anymore.
No, it's a 7.0.
7.0 now. So, Oh, and because the 7.0 isn't quite enough, we're going to, by the way, also throw a little supercharger on top of it.
What kind of idiot would do that?
God, you are correct. What kind of fool would do that? So, it's
So anyway,
it's a fun little truck for sure. It's a little much. I think we found the spot of it being, like I said, it's been many years. It's gone through many iterations, in and out. I mean, we've taken that motor in and out many, many times. suspension work, being body work, right? Everything, interior, new seats, like everything on that thing has been gone through.
We even had the inside fixed so that where the seats mount,
Yes.
it's like 4 inches lower than normal.
Yeah.
So the actual cab was cut out.
Right.
So
Because
that I don't hit my head. When I'm wearing a helmet and I'm on the road course, my head would hit and I'd actually have to squish down while I drive.
Yeah, which wasn't good.
That's awful.
Because like
It's
everybody
dangerous.
that's 7 feet tall decides they need an S10.
If you ever see a mini truck at a car
Yeah.
show, just wait. They'll park and then out comes this
Tall person, guaranteed.
Jack. He's about to climb his beanstalk, you know. Freaking,
They're
it's
like,
always like
the top of the car comes to like their waist.
right. It's like you want what you can't have, which is comfortability. And driving a mini truck.
Right?
No.
I think my Mini Cooper has more room than your truck.
Yeah, you could sleep in the back of that thing.
Oh yeah, but I mean even just like sitting in like the seats, it's surprisingly roomy.
Mini
Like
Cooper?
even
you got a lot of room.
Like even
tons of
even
room.
other people who I've had in there, like whoa.
I don't put
this
the
is,
seat
like,
all the way back.
Way
when I drive
roomy
that
in
car.
here. Yeah.
And I'm 6'2".
Yeah, I put it all the way forward. I'm 5'2".
She looks like that little grandma heading to the grocery store. Her hands up at 10 and 2.
Well.
But she's spitting fire out the exhaust at the same
Right.
time.
It does need a new turbo though. We got to get a little work.
Yeah, she's
Not
due
to
for
it.
something.
Yeah, usually I love my car, but if you get a Mini Cooper, just be aware. You're going to be working on it.
I think that if you have the skill to work on them, that it's all right.
Yeah,
It's
hasn't
fine. You
been
just
bad for
understand
us.
you're going to have to be doing some stuff, and maybe we've been doing it wrong the whole time. Someone chime in and tell me about
Right.
we've been through a few things. We've been through some head gaskets, some turbos, some
Clutches.
Nothing too crazy. To be honest,
Well, the
it's nothing
turbo,
too crazy.
we hit a deer, so
Well, the turbo
that-
didn't go bad. Yeah, Trish
Yeah.
hit a deer,
I
and
hit a
that deer went
deer.
straight up in the air, and we were like, "What even was that?"
Oh
And
my
so she slams on the brakes, and that deer comes down like John Cena right on the hood. Boom! Hits the hood of this car and just
so scary.
smashes this hood down, cracks the valve cover, cracks the turbo, wrecks the whole front end,
Yeah.
intercooler, radiator. If you name it, this
Everything.
deer was like, he slapped his elbow a couple times and boom, put her down
Yeah.
on that thing.
Yeah, he did.
So, but
Yeah,
we were
so that-
about 1.5 miles from home, so
Yeah.
we didn't stay at the scene long, and we were like, ha,
Get it back.
we're leaking, let's get home.
Yeah, leaking everything. So, naturally then we had to do a upgrade series, right? Do some upgrades and
Well, the-
bigger turbo.
To everything,
To-
because the body, right? The
Right.
body, it's
Yes,
like, well,
yeah.
let's having a hard time finding the same color
Right.
white Mini Cooper parts, so
Yeah.
we ended up finding a donor
Donor car that was
Or
great.
maybe we had one sitting around here. We were going through a lot at that
yeah,
time, but
we had a lot of Mini Coopers around here.
we had one, and then we took the gray parts off. Was it gray?
Yeah, it's gray.
So the hood's gray, the front end's gray. But that pursued us to get a wrap on it
Yeah,
versus
so
getting
then I
it
went and
painted.
got
So
it
it's like, hey,
wrapped.
let's get a wrap. So she's got a.
Psychedelic flip is what it's called.
You can probably picture it now.
Google that if you want. Psychedelic
How do you
flip.
describe that? It's like a holographic.
Yeah, it's like a color
Holla.
changing, like when you drive it like goes from like purple, pinks, blues
Depends
all the way.
where the sun's
yeah,
hitting it
like
and where you
iridescent,
are.
I guess
Yeah.
is a good, kind of that type of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
So
then you had your
if it's-
wheels
yeah.
powder coated
yes,
the same
I
thing.
did.
So she's
Yeah,
fiery.
I like it. Yeah, it's a fun little machine. We have a lot of fun with it.
Well, and the longer you own something, the more it's like, oh, it's whatever, right?
Yeah,
but then it's
I
like
suppose, right.
you have to realize it is a really cool car. It's just that like you've owned that for a long time now.
I have,
So it's easy
yeah.
to be like, whatever.
It's what it
but,
is.
like,
I've had that
you
for a
know.
while. Yeah. No, I have a lot of fun with it. I definitely don't want to make it sound like I don't. It's I'm proud of it. I did most of the work. Well, pretty much all the work between us two. We've done all the work to it.
Yeah, when we
And-
got that car, we got it because
Right.
we actually got a really good deal on it. It had they have problems with their cylinder heads, usually around 100,000
Yeah.
miles. This one had something that had that
Yep.
problem. And so we were able to get it for really
Yeah,
cheap.
they were going to bring it to the junkyard.
And Shish was already wanting a Mini Cooper, and we
Right.
saw one in her mom's neighbor's backyard on
Yeah.
a trailer. And we know
Yes.
this guy likes to go to auctions.
Yeah.
So we were like, hey, what's
He
going
was
on there?
gonna-
He's like, $1,000. That's
Yeah.
what the auction's going to give me for it. It's got new tires, blah, blah, blah. And we were looking at it. It's the 3-door. It's the whole like, wow, this is
Exactly
actually really,
the one that I
really
wanted.
awesome.
Yeah, it
Like,
was
really
crazy.
awesome. I remember that day.
Yeah.
And so we gave him the $1,000 and took it on. So we rebuilt the cylinder head right away and just kind of freshened her up. And we've put one head gasket in since then, but that was just because
I burnt directly through it.
a lot of action going on in the cylinder.
Yeah, it's a hot, and you put anything with a turbo, screams. It's just fiery, just hot. It's just hot in there. And
Well,
then
you're probably pushing 75 horsepower per cylinder. So
yeah, and they're little.
That's a decent. That's decent.
Right. So it's a good time. We definitely have a good time up there.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll talk more about the track for sure.
Yep.
Other fun things that we do.
Yep.
Where do we want to pick another question, or what do you think?
Let's do at least one more question.
All right.
Maybe we'll get one from the
All
board
right.
too. We'll see what's up, and then
Let's see how we're going. How are we doing for time? Oh yeah, we're doing pretty good. We can do one more question.
what are we at?
We're just about an hour.
Oh wow. We're doing
yeah,
great.
it went fast.
So I'm gonna pick a
Hopefully,
question
it went
and
fast
see if-
for other people too.
Oh, this is great. What is your biggest pet peeve?
This circles back quite nicely. Remember earlier in the episode here when I referenced people driving slow in the left lane?
I remember that the whole beginning part. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's
That's your pet peeve. But
it's,
driving like you're not even conscious about other people around. You're just
yeah. Like if you're not like, how do I want to put this now? Okay. Just don't park there, right? Like if you got to take a left and you don't want to drive very fast, I personally think if you're not comfortable driving the speed limit in, clear weather, then maybe there should be a different conversation.
Yeah.
About whether or not you should be driving. but like, so if you're, if you're driving the speed limit and then you get over into the left lane because you have to like take a left or you have to use it in, a half a mile, do you, man, you got to do that. But like, if we're like 3.5 miles to 7 miles into a journey and you're doing 4 under the speed limit in the left lane, I promise you that I hope I'm alone in the car. Because
she says bad words.
I say bad things and I am like, and it's not because I need to go that fast or something. It's honestly because I just find it really, really rude. I find it so rude to just like not care what anybody else has going on and just be oblivious of the people around you. It's not your job to police people.
Right. No, it says a lot more about you than just the idea that you're going too slow there. It's you're not paying attention to anything going on.
Either you're not paying attention or you're purposely being that way. And I think both of those are equally not cool things.
Right. Do you want to hear what I have a pet peeve, but it's not like my biggest thing. I don't really know, but when I read this earlier, the first thing that came to my mind, and I don't really know if anybody knows this.
Uh-oh. Am I about to...
No, it's stupid.
Oh.
So I don't like when my garbage is like the garbage can that goes to the street. I don't like when my garbage can has stuff sticking out of it.
Oh, yeah, I do know this.
When I bring it down to the street and whatever, like I don't want my life garbage stuff hanging out the side of it and like the lid is flipped up and you got stuff up and out.
Like you want the lid sealed, right?
I would ideally like the lid sealed down.
Right.
And just, I don't know what it is. I don't care if people see my garbage. Like if you want to see there's nothing cool in there, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah. It's just
maybe it could come
a pet peeve of yours to see that.
Well, I know there's oftentimes
own...
like some gloves from work and like rubber gloves and like towels and different like smaller things. And I know that if the lid is up, sometimes they kind of like would want to blow out if it was windy, right? So
because we do have kind of weird garbage.
Yeah, and we have weird wind, just the way it goes here, right?
No, I mean like our garbage, right? Because like you use rubber gloves all the time for work, and not everybody usually does that in their house, and and we have. Like, can you imagine, like, all of a sudden, like, rubber gloves and, like, let's say you...
and brake cleaner bottles?
And transmission rags soaked in transmission fluid come flying out of the garbage.
Uh-oh. That's actually in there right now.
That'd be great. Like the new neighbors move in, and all of a sudden there's like
flying out.
they're like, right, oh, wind comes, and here's some rubber gloves, and for a lot of times transmission fluid is red. If you guys don't know that,
yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah.
A lot of times, or power steering fluid or whatever you want to go with.
Right. These people are in the fast lane life. But
hey,
it's not always red.
We're not
either.
always right. It's not always
knows?
red, but I was referring to the red stuff.
Right.
So
Right.
I thought that would be
pretty funny.
That'd be pretty funny.
Hey neighbor.
Hey neighbor.
They're like, hello. I'm don't mean any
right.
harm.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, but that's interesting. I guess I didn't really know it was pet peeve, but I knew you didn't like that. I know you've
I don't know
said
what
that,
it is.
like,
I
you
just
don't
kind of
the
like when that
garbage
thing is
sticking out.
closed. So I'll actually not put certain things in if I know it's going to be like keeping over. I'm just kind of like, we'll save this for next week.
Right. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, awesome, guys. I think we're getting towards the end here, and super excited. I feel like we've covered some cool stuff today.
Yep, it was a good intro.
Yeah.
It was a good intro. And we can do these type of things every once in a while again.
Oh, for sure. Just, and then for sure, if you guys have any specific questions, drop us a line in the
Please
comments
do.
or
You got things you want
come
answered?
check us out. Right. If you want things you want answered or subjects you want to hear us talk about, like I said, our plan is to really just talk to people that we've met, find some new interesting people, and about just different things in their life, different interesting things, how things affect them, how things are going, what they're up to, all kinds of fun stuff. So
Yep.
we'll be bringing those
Heck yeah. We
more
look forward
episodes
to
to you for sure. So we really appreciate everybody that listened today, and we really hope to have you listening in our next episode.
Sounds good. Thanks for listening, guys, girls.
Yeah.
Everybody have a good day.
Right, and watch out for our. We'll be dropping some teasers and stuff of the next episode of who our guest is going to be, because we will be having a maybe one, maybe more guests on for the next podcast. So check it out. Stay tuned.
Sounds good.
All right.
Stay in that fast lane.
That's right.